President Trump praising John James as the future star of the GOP after winning the nomination in Michigan's Republican Senate primary last night. The Iraq combat veteran goes on now to face incumbent Democrat Debbie Stabenow in November. John James joins us now. I'm sure it probably feels like an early morning after the big night last night. Congratulations to you. How do you feel this morning?
I feel great. I feel tremendously energized. The work is starting now. First thing, got to give glory to God for this amazing victory and the people of the state of Michigan who came out and made their voices heard. Super excited to get in this general and make sure that we hold Senator Stabenow accountable for her record.
Well, you earned the support of the president prior to this election, John, and the president is tweeting out about you, saying, quote, "Congratulations to a future star of the Republican Party, future Senator John James. A big and bold victory tonight in a great state of Michigan, the first of many. November can't come fast enough. You will take on incumbent Democrat Senator Debbie Stabenow in the general election. Can you win?"
Absolutely. Senator Stabenow's numbers are plummeting because she's associated with resistance. Debbie Stabenow cares more about resistance than results. She cares more about obstruction than economic opportunity. And having someone like me who gets results from the battlefield to the boardroom, I'm a combat veteran who got the results of bringing all my aircraft and all my men back home safely. I'm a business leader who got the results of growing my company from 35 million to 137 million and improving the economic situations of over 100 families in Michigan and east of the Mississippi. Debbie Stabenow votes with Chuck Schumer 95% of the time, and there are people home in the state of Michigan who are wondering if their lives going to get any better by having somebody who's obstructing the president and not bringing opportunities back home.
How important was the president's support in your victory?
The president's support was amazing, was icing on the cake. The people of the state of Michigan came out, but the president really took a leading effort in getting the word out, helping us get the vote out, and I'm grateful for the president's endorsement and also Vice President Pence, who I'm actually going to be running into in Grand Rapids in a couple hours.
In your statement, you talked about your military experience and why you are going to make a great U.S. Senator, and you said, "I don't have a black message, I don't have a white message, I have a Michigan message." What is that message?
Identity politics is the enemy of the state, and I swore an oath to the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, by continuing to drive a wedge between what makes us great and focusing more on the arbitrary things that separate us. That is how folks like Senator Stabenow, Chuck Schumer, and Nancy Pelosi continue to play the haves against the have-nots, the blacks against the whites, the males against the females, in order to continue to retain their positions in Washington. We need to break this down. I'm going to be talking more about my experience, my energy, my enthusiasm, and my empathy to make sure that we represent the people of the state of Michigan, to stand up for our Constitution, to secure our borders, and make sure we bring economic opportunity back here. It's not a black message, it's not a white message, it's a red, white, and blue message. And I have experience leading people, getting results, doing the hard things, and making sure that we can benefit the people of the state of Michigan and the United States of America.
John, what's the overall takeaway from your win last night and what it means for November for your party?
That people will not be deceived. There are rural whites who've been dismissed by the Democratic Party as deplorable, and urban blacks who've been dismissed as disposable. There are people in areas around the state of Michigan that look worse than the combat zones that I was flying in. Senator Stabenow has been an elected official for 43 years and been in Washington for 20. And has done precious little. 7 bills passed into law, and 5 of them to rename buildings. We need to have someone who focuses on quality of life for Michigan voters, someone who focuses on quality of future for our children, making sure that we get rid of the identity politics and the political correctness to make sure that we execute and get results. And we need to make sure that we get new energy, new blood, and someone who will work with our president to bring talent and to help bring economic opportunity back to the state of Michigan.
In addition to the other words I read from the president earlier, he said, "Rarely have I seen a candidate with such great potential. He is spectacular," all capital letters from President Trump. Axios writes, if you win the general election, you will be the second black Republican senator in Congress, next to South Carolina Senator Tim Scott. What does that mean to you?
Well, I'm excited in this great country of ours that my father, who was born in Starkville, Mississippi in 1941, living directly across the street from Mississippi State University, unable to go there because he was black, now has a son who's knocking on the door of the U.S. Senate. Too many people have died for me to have the right to be judged by the content of my character, not by the color of my skin. And I'm excited to have the experience, graduated from West Point, becoming a Ranger qualified Apache pilot, and growing a business. And that had nothing to do with what I looked like, but I'm excited because I truly believe that the dependency and victimhood that have been fed to the African-American community, right now we're in a situation where we don't have a seat at both tables, and when neither party has to work for our vote, then that's the wrong answer. I'm excited to represent all Michiganders and to serve all Americans, understanding that I have the experience in combat, understanding national security, I have experience in business, signing the front and back of checks, and understanding how to work with our president to help make our country better. I believe I'm the best candidate because of my experience, and Debbie Stabenow is definitely going to have a race on her hands.
We will see how it all goes down in November. John James, your enthusiasm and your energy is impressive after the big night last night. You are clearly a proud American, and we're proud of you. Thank you for your service as a combat veteran. Thank you for your time this morning. We will be following all of this into November. Thank you very much, sir.
God bless. Thank you.